From this working LEGO particle accelerator to LEGO Wallace and Gromit, these are even more ideas that LEGO completely rejected. Up first is something every single one of you will recognize. This is the LEGO Cybertruck, and even if you don't like how the truck looks in real life, I think we can all admit that it looks pretty cool as a LEGO set. This concept was posted on LEGO Ideas all the way back in December of 2019, just 1 month after Elon Musk revealed the first truck for the very first time. It took a little over 2 months, but the idea ended up getting the 10,000 supporters it needed to get reviewed, and it also got a staff pick right after it hit 1,000 supporters, which is super rare. Unfortunately though, 8 months after the set got 10,000 supporters, it was officially announced that the idea would not be getting made into reality. Who knows though, maybe now that the real Cybertruck is actually being manufactured, LEGO might come back to this idea. If you thought this LEGO idea was cool though, then you definitely have to watch until the end of the video. There are some sets in here that you do not want to miss out on. Up next is a set based on one of the biggest songs of all time. This is the I Want to Break Free set from the band Queen. Queen was an absolutely massive band back in the 1970s and 80s, and the song this set is based on is in their top 10 biggest songs of all time. The music video for this song was first shown on MTV, and it was loved all over the world. Right now, the official music video on YouTube is sitting at 560 million views, so that gives you a pretty good idea of how big this song really is. Even with all of these factors though, it took the set over 2 years to reach 10,000 supporters, which is a super long time for LEGO Ideas. After this, the set got reviewed, but unfortunately, we already know the outcome. It got flat out rejected. To be honest, this doesn't really make a lot of sense, since Queen is literally one of the biggest bands of all time. But this next idea is guaranteed to make you scratch your head. This is an idea for a LEGO Apple store, and you won't believe how old it is. This idea was submitted all the way back in March of 2012. Man, that is old. Since it's so old, the pictures for it aren't too great, and there aren't a lot of them either, but that doesn't take away from the idea. The Apple stores are some of the coolest stores ever, and they have been for a really long time. Now, even though this idea doesn't really do the stores justice, it's the idea itself that matters. LEGO could have easily used this idea and spiced it up a little bit with their building skills, but instead they just rejected it in November of 2014. Don't lose hope though. If you really want to see a LEGO Apple Store set, there's a brand new one on LEGO Ideas right now that's almost at 10,000 supporters. This one is clearly leagues above the one from 2012, so there's a real chance that this one gets made. Go support it. If you guys are enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post LEGO videos like this every single week. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Up next is an idea based on an internet sensation. This is the LEGO Spot set, a robot dog made by Boston Dynamics. Before I get into the specifics of this idea, let me tell you a little bit about the original robot dog. Boston Dynamics has been working on robot dogs for a super long time now, with their first one being Big Dog in 2005. Since then, they've made a ton of improvements and have given them a lot of different names, but Spot is by far the most popular. In 2021, when the set was posted on LEGO Ideas, Spot was their latest and greatest robot dog. It was all over the internet, so it makes sense that someone wanted a LEGO set of it. In less than 2 months, the idea got the 10,000 followers it needed to be reviewed, which isn't super fast, but it's much better than the 2 years it took for the Queen set. As cool as this set would have been though, LEGO just couldn't see the vision and officially rejected it in February of 2022. Up next is a set based on one of the biggest movies of our generation, Coraline. Unlike the movie, this set doesn't show any of the scary stuff, like the other mother in her spider form, which definitely helped them in the review process. Instead of buttons for eyes, this set is just Coraline's house in the beginning of the movie, with all of the characters we met in the first world. This idea is pretty old, having been submitted in March of 2018, but Coraline's a pretty old movie, so honestly, this submission itself was pretty late. Even with how big this movie is, it took the idea over 2 years to get 10,000 supporters, which is a real shame. People were probably hoping to see some stuff from the other world, and since they didn't support it. Regardless though, the set was reviewed and rejected, closing the case on a LEGO Coraline set. For now. Up next is a tribute to the Chocolate Factory set from the LEGO Town theme. This set was made back in 1978, so obviously it's super old. It's cool because it's vintage LEGO, but getting your hands on one of these sets is basically impossible in today's market. So a person by the name of Lepra Lego decided to take this old set and completely revamp it. This is the LEGO House of Chocolate set, and I have to say, this is extremely well done. It's a 2-story house-like factory that does nothing except make chocolate. What's not to like here? The idea was submitted in November of 2020 and got 10,000 supporters in April of 2021. That's only 6 months, so that's how you know this set is a good one. Originally, the idea was only posted using 3D modeling, but in January of 2021, Lepra Lego added an update to his post and showed us pictures of the set in real life. The masterpiece looks even better in person, which doesn't surprise me, but unfortunately, this story does not have a happy ending. In October of 2021, LEGO announced that they rejected the set. Honestly, out of all the ideas so far in this video, this one probably makes the least amount of sense. This is classic LEGO at its finest, and yet somehow the reviewers just couldn't see it. This next idea, though, might make you change your opinion on LEGO. I mean, this was just a slimy move. Before I show you it, though, let me ask you a question. You know about the Office set, right? This set was released in October of 2022, so not too long ago. Well, what if I told you that LEGO rejected an idea for the Office set 3 years before they released the one that we have now? This is the original one, which just like the one that got released, was also put on LEGO Ideas. If I was the person who made this, I would have been absolutely fuming. I mean, like, this just isn't fair. Not only was this person a whole 4 years early since they posted the idea in January of 2018, but it's basically identical to the one that got released. I don't know. In my opinion, this is super messed up from LEGO. I mean, the official set was also from the Ideas forum, so why even reject the first one? Whatever, let's just get on to the next idea. Up next is one of the coolest functional LEGO sets I've ever seen. This is a working LEGO waterfall. And no, it doesn't have actual water in it. Instead, the builder used clear blue LEGO pieces to represent the water. Pretty clever. The set has a front and a back, both of which have some super cool details. The front is obviously the waterfall, but the back is a giant mine shaft with dynamite, fire, and a minecart with gold inside of it. The back of the set is also where you can see how the waterfall actually works. Even though it looks impossible from the front, the back makes you realize just how simple it really is. After the pieces get dropped in the lake, they get carried to the back of the mountain by a conveyor belt. After this, they get picked up by some vehicle tracks attached to a few motors, and from here they reach the top of the mountain, fall down, and start the process all over again. This idea was submitted in December of 2019, and just 4 months later, it hit 10,000 supporters. As we already know though, the set got rejected by LEGO, so I guess we should just move on to the next idea. This is the LEGO Wallace and Gromit set, submitted on October 16th, 2020. You might be wondering why I just said the exact date for this idea, but trust me, it'll all make sense. Wallace and Gromit, like Coraline, is another classic for Gen Z. In case you don't know how big these two are, let me try and put it into perspective. The original animation came out way back in 1989, but in the current year of 2024, there's a brand new Wallace and Gromit movie on Netflix. And even crazier than this, the movie got a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you know how hard that is? Now that you know this, I want you to guess how long it took the LEGO idea to reach 10,000 supporters. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, got your answer? If you said anywhere near 45 days, I'll consider it correct, because that's exactly how long it took. Now, I know we already know the outcome of the review, but let's be honest for a second. We all know that this set should have been put on the shelves. I feel like the only reason it didn't was because LEGO just couldn't get the creators of Wallace and Gromit to agree to it. But hopefully, now that they have a new movie on Netflix, we'll see something Wallace and Gromit related happen with LEGO, because this really would be an awesome set to have. Anyways, let's move on to the next idea. This is the LEGO Boeing 737, and since we already know it got rejected, let me tell you why this is one of the dumbest ones in this video. First of all, everyone knows Boeing. It's the name people think of when you hear the word airplane, so it's iconic. But that isn't even why I think this rejection is dumb. The Boeing 737 in specific is one of the most popular planes Boeing has ever created. The first one was made all the way back in 1967, and to this day, a ton of major airlines still use them to fly all over the world. I'm talking American Airlines, Delta, United, Southwest, the list goes on and on. But, of course, even with all of these factors, LEGO still rejected the set. I swear, some of these rejections genuinely make no sense. However, this next one makes a lot of sense. This is a LEGO particle accelerator. Yes, you heard me correctly, and in case you think it doesn't work, here's a clip of it doing just that. Now, I know it isn't going very fast, but that's the thing about particle accelerators. Their speed gets exponentially faster. In case it wasn't obvious enough, this is an extreme safety hazard, so there's no way that LEGO would ever release something like this. As cool as it is, I have to give this one to LEGO. This rejection was 100% necessary. I mean, just imagine the amount of lawsuits that would be flying in the day this set got released. Anyways, getting back to the rejections that make no sense, this next idea fits perfectly. This is the LEGO Indiana Jones trilogy set, and off rip, this already looks like something that LEGO would release themselves. It's only 650 pieces, and even though that's a pretty low number, the builder was able to do so much with them. The set shows 3 super important locations from every Indiana Jones movie. There's the Temple of Doom from the Temple of Doom movie, the Well of Souls in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the Temple of the Sun in The Last Crusade. All of these are iconic in the Indiana Jones series, so the fact that LEGO rejected it just doesn't add up. I mean, it's not like they don't have access to the Indiana Jones franchise. The LEGO theme's been going since 2008. This one definitely left a bad taste in my mouth, but this next one might be even worse. This is the LEGO Mexico City set, and I don't know about you, but this set looks oddly familiar. Just kidding, I know why it looks familiar. It's because this set would fit perfectly into the LEGO architecture theme. In case you haven't seen it before, let me tell you about it. The architecture theme is more famously known for sets like the Taj Mahal and the Great Pyramid of Giza, but there's way more to this theme than just historical monuments. There are a ton of small sets in this theme that show off cities and countries from all over the world. There's a set for Paris, New York City, London, Singapore, but you know what city there isn't a set for? Mexico City. Based on what LEGO's already made, it's obvious that they want to make sets for cities with iconic architecture. But the problem here is that Mexico City has that. If you search up Mexico City on Google Images, you'll see a ton of pictures of the Palace of Fine Arts. It's their most famous building, but it isn't the only one they have. The set submitted to LEGO Ideas shows off the city in the best way possible and fits perfectly into the LEGO architecture theme. Unfortunately though, it got rejected in February of 2019, so let's move on to the last idea. Last but certainly not least is this LEGO 1950s diner. If there's one thing about American diners, it's that they looked way better in the 1950s. In case any of you watching have never seen one before, this LEGO set is actually very accurate to what they looked like in real life. The checkerboard floors, the chrome bar stools, I mean, this set is spot on. The idea was submitted in March of 2016 and got 10,000 supporters in December of 2016. It definitely took a little while, but for a set like this, it honestly doesn't matter. I think something like this would fit perfectly into LEGO's catalog. Diners from that era truly were something else. What was your favorite or least favorite rejection in this video? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.